Hi guys, and welcome to another cast from your favorite caster, Omega Kai, bringing to you the Kiwi Challenge Series 2, round number 4 for the pool play number 1, or pool play A. It's going to be, just quickly, just had to remember who it is. It's 420 versus AG. 420 doing extremely well against GD, but not being able to pull it out. And AG doing extremely well against GTB, but unfortunately not being able to combo those ults and not being able to pull it through. This should be a close match, and I should have a co-caster, although they are currently having some technical difficulties. Hopefully they will be through soon, and we'll be able to have not just one, but two casters here, bringing you the detailed information. But as we see it, oh wait, what's wrong with the setting? As we see it right now, it is on your screen, and ad there for the Company of Gamers. Company of Gamers, if you're not particularly familiar with Company of Gamers, they are an organization within New Zealand that specifically deals with esports. They're quite well known for their StarCraft 2 events called Barcraft. It's also, I don't want to say dirty down what we're doing, but they also have League of Legends. But they're trying to build up their Dota 2 player base there. So if you want to go along to that website you see on the screen, www.barcraft.net, and sign up, or at least contact the guy who runs the Dota 2 events. They have had some successful events. It's just about our re-participation in terms of players that show up. You can see there on your screen now a plug for the Southern Cross Dota. Southern Cross Dota being one of these groups that oh, how do I put it? They're looking to build up their player base a little bit. They're not actually organizers as such of events, but they are like a community hub is the best way I can describe it. They will promote your events if you have events, and they will be looking to expand that slightly. They do have some VODs, and they do have some guides and forums that are very, very useful. So you should go along, you should sign up. And I do have a co-caster here, but I seem to have done something here disastrous. I can't seem to get the setting working. 1 second while I try to configure this, guys. Sorry for the hold up there. Why can't I get this to go? There we go, having some failings on my first game for the night. Hopefully I will be able to get that going successfully. Just give me a second here while I try my best to try and get this working. This is a bit of a disaster, isn't it? Here we go. Why is that not coming up? I don't know. I can't unmute myself. That's a problem. That is a big problem there. I'm going to be flying solo if I can't get this working anytime soon. Bear with me, guys, while I try to get this working. There is some technical difficulties. I will have to close Dota down, which is going to be a bit of a problem. It's going to give us some delayed play. Hopefully I can fix this, or otherwise we're in a bit of a disaster zone. Yeah, this is not looking good for the people currently watching. They're going to be laughing their heads off right now. Hopefully this will work. What's going on here? Why won't that come up? I don't understand what's going on. Oh, here we go. I've minimized it. There we go, there. Look, are you there, Anonymous? Are you there?
Yeah, I am.
I do have some technical difficulties. Just give me 1 second while I restart Dota. And sorry to those guys currently watching. I am still streaming, so they will see the fail here. I accidentally minimized to one side the mumble, so I couldn't unmute you. So that's why you couldn't hear me.
Oh, alright.
Anyways, looking at the on your screen, these guys who are currently watching, they will see on their screen an advert there for Southern Cross Dota. If you're not familiar with Southern Cross Dota, yet again I'll do another plugin or another segue. It is a community hub. They don't run their own events. They're looking to promote events. There's a hub for casting, or if you're looking at sort of doing video editing or VODs, that's the place to go. I am now in the game. The round is AG versus 420. It should be, and it is. And we saw both teams doing extremely well in pool play yesterday. We're going to jump into the game now. Looking at the bans now, what do you think about those particular pickups there, Anonymous?
The Chen ban, I think, coming out of 420 is a respect ban, because I'm not so sure why you would pick a Chen unless you want to go. Since they already have Keeper of the Light, they have huge counter push. So I don't understand the Chen ban unless it was a respect ban for one of the AG guys who play Chen very well.
Look, in the previous round, we did see some Chen play, and it was playing very, very well. But I don't think this is a respect ban. I think they're just looking to ban out what they can in terms of limiting the ability of AB Gaming. AB Gaming and 420 both being new to the Kiwi Challenge scene. And we have a quick look there at their pickups. They have picked up Keeper of the Light as a first pick, but they're choosing to pick up the Tree as a second pick. Not going for what you would expect to be as the secondary pick in terms of like maybe a Tiny or a Phantom Lancer. They've gone for this other support role. What do you think about that?
Both these supports don't have any stuns. They have no ability other than Train Protector's ulti. They have no ability that can lock an opposition hero in one place. So this just screams out defensive tri-lane, and that just gives AG a lot of room to maneuver with. And I think the carry would be Phantom Lancer unless AG would ban it, as you said.
Yeah, they're into the second phase of banning now. AB having already banned out that crucial mid-hero of Batrider, looking to deny that versatility from 420. And they've also banned out Rubik, which I think is a very, very smart move. You don't see very many early bans in Rubik, which means they can comfortably go along and choose those team fight utility and not have to worry about being counterpicked by Rubik. And we're seeing the second ban of phasing now. A Phantom Lancer being banned out and a Gyro being banned out. But still yet no, we don't see that Phantom Lancer, which I'm pretty sure that's what 420 is going for. Whereas I think AB Gaming looks like they're going to be building a team fight type situation in terms of their team.
10 seconds remaining.
The Darkseer is a huge team fight hero, and I think this it just gives flashbacks to the international.
Oh, sorry there. I'm going to have to interrupt you slightly. You are breaking up slightly. It is very, very terrible for the listeners. Hold on, let's just see if I can tweak this a little bit.
And this just gives huge flashbacks to that tournament and the meta around that time.
I'm going to have to ask my co-host to reconnect. There seems to be some issue there with the quality of that audio coming through. He said this is a little bit of a flashback to the TI2 in terms of the hero picks. Yeah, we are seeing Naga Siren, Darkseer. We may see there a Tide pickup or an Enigma pickup, and he's right. It is very, very team fight orientated, and we see there that they're banning out heroes. I think they're going to do well against a team fight team. They're banning out their Gyro because they're not looking to pick him up, and they're banning out their Silencer because they don't want to get shut down. And I think this is a very, very smart draft in terms of ban strategy for AB Game. .420 picking up Alchemist is their first pick. That's probably, while we said there was going to be a Phantom Lancer, I'm very surprised they still haven't got this Phantom Lancer, but they've picked up Alchemist for probably their trail lane position. They're going to be able to comfortably babysitting him by giving him a lot of mana and giving him a lot of heal. That tree doesn't even need to be in lane. He can be in the jungle, or he could be in the solo lane, because that heal is a global presence type situation. And the initiate that's going to come out of this tree is going to be able to lock down guys or slow them down with his leech seed, and enabling this Alchemist to be able to build up enough time in order to throw down the stun. This is going to work out very, very well for 420 in terms of a tri lane, if this is the tri lane.
Oh god. Just a side note that the Wisp is still in the pool. And they just picked up the Chaos Knight.
Assassin. Radiant team pick.
Yeah, as my co-caster expected, they've picked up their Phantom Assassin, and there is still a Wisp in the pool. They can still have this global presence for the CK. I don't think 420 have identified this, and this is the chance for AB Gaming to pick up their Wisp if they're going to do the global Wisp Chaos Knight combo. And they've got such strong utility. I can see it. I can see the wall. Naga Siren setting up a wall or a vacuum, or at least the global gank of the Chaos Knight. They don't synergize perfectly over each other, but I think they do very, very well in terms of how their individual roles perform. And this is going to be a game, I think, is going to be one of the best games of the night to cast, because these teams are much, much more evenly matched.
Is it better now?
I don't know what's going on with your audio there, buddy. I'll try and reconnect. It seems to be that there's some sort of issue with the audio. Give me 1 second.
Windrunner at your service.
All the failings coming out tonight in terms of issues. How about you speak now, Anonymous? Can you?
Yeah. Is it
Perfect.
okay now?
Must have been me. And we see there for the final ban, they do get wise. They do ban out that Wisp ban, and there's a pickup of a Windrunner. You know, I think that would have been the opportunity for AG to pick up that Wisp, but they didn't. Instead, they've gone for the Windrunner. Why do you think that is?
5
Quite surprising on both situations, because even 420 they had Keeper of the Light as the first pick, and they opted to go for the Drain Protector, Alchemist, and Phantom Assassin without the Phantom Lancer. And even AG, as you said, went for the Windrunner instead of the Wisp. So both of them, like they're trying to be, I think they're trying to be, well, not so obvious with their picks. But then again, I don't know how well this would work, because they now have a Phantom Assassin in the Trillion, and Alchemist probably mid.
It may be the case where they are looking to put Phantom Lancer in that mid position. I have seen it done. Although they pick up a Magnus, this is going to be an RP game. We're going to hopefully see some very, very strong RP plays here. That's the kind of plays we want to see in terms of casting. From my perspective, it makes for the most interesting games, having a really good setup for RP, and they have it. They have it in the form of the Tread Protector, and a little bit in the form of the Alchemist with that unstable concoction. But you know, this 420 drafting very, very strong. I do like their lineup in comparison to AB Gaming. AB Gaming relying quite substantially on that team fight initially with those initial two picks, and we see it. We see a Death Prophet pick up. That's not usual.
Not usual at all. But the Death Prophet pickup actually gives them a lot of AoE. Even if the Magnus RP is even if he gets a 5-man RP, they could just disengage the entire gank with the Song of the Siren, and or they could even use the Death Prophet's ultimate, the Exorcism, to get more damage onto the opposition team. And since 4 of the 5 in 420's lineup are melee heroes, the Exorcism is going to do more damage to them, since they need to come close to attack anybody on the AG team.
And you're right there in terms of how that's going to execute. I think this AG team, they don't have that synergy in terms of their pickup that I was expecting to see them in the initial picks. They've picked up Death Prophet for, I'm assuming, their mid position, Windrunner for their long lane, or for the tri-lane, and Darkseer for the long lane. It could be anyone's guess at this stage, because they're all migrating towards the Radiant Jungle. And let's have a quick look at their item pickups. No counter wards or no smoke being picked up by either team, and that could be very, very, very problematic for both teams.
Yep, but since with the Death Prophet pickup and the last, it'll most likely be Windrunner in the Trillion, I think, unless Darkseer starts off in the jungle. So it'll be a lot of disables, a lot of stuns, a lot of lockdowns in their Trillion with the Shackle Shot, the Ensnare, and Chaos Knight's, both of Chaos Knight's main spells.
Yeah, no, I'm a little worried here for 420. I do think they have a slightly better draft in the form of having this Keeper and this Magnus in terms of utility. They haven't followed through with the tree, and they have this very, very hard late game farm with the PA. But I'm worried about how their laning is going to develop, because they don't have a very, as you said earlier, they don't have a very offensive tri lane, and they have gone into the offensive tri lane position.
Yep, unless they miraculously get this to work, I really fear for them. This Trillion, it has to be defensive. Tree and Keeper of the Light, even when they are coupled up with their usual heroes like the Phantom Lancer or the Weaver for the carry position for Tree, you usually see them in the safe lane just protecting their carries and allowing the carries to farm. But now, since they've gone offensive, I really don't know how this would work.
We see in the top lane here this weird situation with Darkseer and Chaos Knight. They're being paired up as a 2-1-2 sort of split. They've got Darkseer and Chaos Knight on top lane. In the mid lane, they've got where we expected Death Prophet to be. In the bottom lane, they don't have a tri lane at all. They have a Niger and a Windrunner, which, you know, this completely baffles me, because I think 420's arrangement is actually going to work out to their advantage. They've got this Alchemist sort of on his own, and he is going to be able to get a reasonable amount of farm even with their Darkseer, and this I don't think is going to work out in terms of a strategy. I do think that AG need to look at this and potentially rotate somebody.
I This actually seeing the offensive trial now, it actually makes me think that 420 actually expected the Darkseer and the Chaos Knight dual lane, but if they did, that was just brilliant of them. But then again, like as you said, they may have to rotate since they actually can destroy this tri lane with with the amount of lockdown in theirs.
Yeah, I don't see this Nagasara picking up much CS, and if we just look at that now, she's got 0 CS, and it's almost 2 minutes into the game. Windrunner with 2. Meanwhile, the PA is doing okay, I guess, with 1. You'd like to see a lot more within 2 minutes, but Keeper picking up the most CS with those Illuminates, and even the tree sort of just hanging back and just throwing down his heels, not really doing anything except soaking up XP. I do think they should possibly abandon this tri lane and look at doing something else, because otherwise they are going to be potentially out leveled.
One more side note is that this dual lane system of AG, like is seen in most pubs today, it gives them much more EXP than it would the tri lane. And if you look at the respective heroes, Tree is probably Tree and Keeper of the Light are probably one of the only ones that are level dependent, whereas Phantom Assassin and Alchemist really need the gold to get their items and get a transition into the mid game or the late game. Whereas in AG, if you get level 6 on Naga Siren and you get the wall vacuum on Darkseer, that will just wreck any team fight. Even if Magnus lands the RP.
I would normally not always sort of agree with you in terms of, you know, this tree and this keeper and the trialing, but I don't think they've picked the right skills. They could have worked if the tree had gone Nature's Guise and being able to sort of work in this kind of surprise element in terms of being able to either make PA or keeper invisible, but it's not really working out very well, I don't think, in this bottom lane here. Even though I think the XP is probably going definitely in the way of I don't know how to call it, because it seems very, very weird. Very little CS being picked up from both teams.
Yep, but again, to reply to what you said about the tree going for Nature's Guys, they can't really afford to go offensive with this tri lane because Tree and Keeper of the Light are defensive supports, and Phantom Assassin is also a defensive carry in the early stages of the game, unless she's paired up with a Wisp, of course. But even then, she normally waits for at least her first item before trying to even get a kill. So this tri lane going in the offensive position is kind of surprising.
Yeah, we see in the mid lane here, Magnus and sort of the DP going neck to neck in terms of CS. Although the denies are much higher on the Death Prophet, the CS is very, very still relative in terms of Magnus, and Magnus getting the early rune there, which is gonna work out because it was a regeneration rune, so he will be able to stand with more of the shockwaves and sort of get ahead in the CS. Meanwhile, in the top lane, definitely this Chaos Knight going toe to toe with this Alchemist, but of course this Alchemist having 3 levels in Grapple Greed, so that CS being a little bit misleading in terms of net worth.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, you're right. Even though they have equal CS at this point, just Chaos Knight just got 2 more, but the Alchemist is still leading almost 100 in terms of net worth, and if he gets another last hit, there you go, 200 now.
Also, I want to make a mention on the Naga Sirens build, going for no levels of mirror image, which I think is potentially a mistake. I know there's some builds that say you should get Tide Rip and you get 1 level of Ensnare, and then be looking to build those mirror images very, very rapidly, because you know that's what sort of stacks with your Tide Rip. But we don't see this with this Naga. In fact, we see no pickups at all of the mirror image.
Well, this has been the recent change in the build for Naga Siren, since most people realize that if you can lock them down for 5 seconds and then get a -5 armor reduction of 5, that would really help you in killing the opposition. And if you look at it, mirror images, even if you get them, they they take about 200% incoming damage, and they do only 45% of your damage at level 4. Even lesser in the earlier levels, but she's just gone for 1. And they of course help you do lots of damage, but if you max out your Riptide, it doesn't really matter, since your main hero would be doing similar amount of damage.
Of course, this is why I've invited you along. You having this technical knowledge that sometimes I oversee in terms of what has changed in with particular patches. And it's a quick look here.
Sorry, Omega.
That's alright.
Omega, just a side note, that Alchemist stole Chaos Knight's tangos. Just click on Alchemist and see the second set of tangos in his inventory. It's Chaos Knights.
How did that occur? Must have put them on the ground. That's the
He
only
just
way.
dropped his tangos, yeah. Yeah, he just dropped his tangos.
That's
for no
good.
reason
That's
whatsoever, and
that's definitely going to translate into CS. Although we do see this Magnus with invisibility rotating into top lane, looking to do something now that he has RP, and this could be a big play, and I'm hoping it will be because they have the position. And we do see Alchemist out of position. He's got a charge. There's an RP, but it doesn't hit anything. There's a skewer into the middle of nowhere. This actually working out in the favor of Dire, and Radiant now has to retreat from what should have been an easy pickup.
actually, I think if they don't lose anybody, they'll most likely lose it. Yeah, if they did. But if they didn't lose anybody after the RP was spent, the Radiant could have considered that a huge win for themselves, because that was the first RP gank of the entire game, as you mentioned.
And we see First Blood going to the Magnus. I think this is very, very good for the Magnus, being able to pick up obviously those extra XP and levels. He's going to be able to build into that Blink Dagger early, and this Magnus showing that he does have the potential to not only go toe to toe with the Death Prophet, but rotating early to provide that First Blood and that slight psychological level for his team. And I just want to say, it's worth mentioning, this Magnus is actually a standard. He isn't part of the standard team, so they're doing very, very well here, the 420, in terms of picking up a good standard who knows how to play Magnus and is really dominating this mid position as well as rotating. And are you there, Anonymous? Perhaps I have lost you.
Yeah, I was just trying to watch the Naga Siren and Windrunner, since earlier in the game I noticed both of them were competing for last hits with each other. That may just be a communication issue. I was just watching how they do with that creep wave.
And of course, in the bottom lane here, we see that powerful Eliminate driving both the Windrunner and the Nagasarian out of lane, while the PA picks up relative good CS in terms of free farm, going toe to toe with her counterpart in the top lane, which is Chaos Knight. So that is going to translate very, very well for the Dire team, because I do think, you know, obviously CS on a PA is going to be worth more than on a CK. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree completely. CK and Naga Siren don't transition into the extreme late game as well as Alchemist and Phantom Assassin do. And we all know that one big crit can change entire team fights in the favor of Phantom Assassin, and so does the RP. So just looking at the two lineups, I think AG are on a time limit now in order to finish the game early. But even if Darkseer gets the illusions of Alchemist and PA in the late game...
And we see a rotation here in the bottom lane, which consists of Dark Prophet coming in to try and assist these guys in terms of their kills. This Keeper, this PA being slightly out of position, but there's a nice dagger there. There's a Nagasarian being used to try and counteract this. It looks like they're trying to set up for something, but I think this is going to be a counter ability. There's a silence, it doesn't hit anything. They do pick off this Keeper. PA, though, looks like he's going to get at least one kill there with the Windrunner going down. So consolation prize really going to AG, picking off only that little lonely cuddle. And I'm not sure that Death Prophet really knew that her silence would have no effect while under the Nagasara.
That, and I think she tried getting both Keeper of the Light and Phantom Assassin in her silence, but the silence, I think, just was outside of the range of Keeper of the Light.
Well, we see, you know, we do see a lot of resilience coming up from this PA with the help of this tree, and obviously that was the intention, putting him in the same lane. But look at this Magnus. He's now looking to pick off somebody if he can. He's got up, he's got skewer. Are we going to see a big play here? And we do see a lot of damage. A timely silence there from no, and there's an RP with a shockwave pickoff, and they follow through with a skewer onto the Windrunner. Windrunner popping a Windrun to try and escape. Doesn't get away, does a nice shackle, but is amazingly picked off by the DD Magnus. Great plays there by DD Magnus. And I'm being advised that my volume is too high. Let me adjust it there for you.
The red mist spreads at Radiant's middle tower.
Hopefully that's better for all the guys watching. Getting some feedback there from the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. You know, if you do have the time, add D2NZ to your list and sort of watch in game via D2NZ's casting if you prefer that. Otherwise, you can stay here and watch mine. And a good thanks there for the critique in terms of the volume, but in terms of the bottom lane, that went very, very well for the Dire. I mean, that Magnus, those Magnus with those two pickoffs, I think that's going to translate into, you know, very, very good items. That this should be Blink Dagger now, or very, very close to.
Alchemist has his Shadow Blade with the max Greevil's Creed.
Illusion.
Oh, and that's being one of the favourite builds that I like to see when I'm casting. That Invisible Alchemist being able to run in with charges on his Unstable Concoction, though he's choosing still just to stay in lane and farm. Not looking to rotate just yet. And I guess that's a smart move because Alchemist is the late game farm.
Missing middle.
Yep, Magnus is rotating bot with the RP is only cooling down though, 25 seconds on that.
Wow, and we see so many abilities being thrown down for the PA. We see a combination of so many abilities, including a Chaos Knight stun, including a silence, including a Nagasari net, and none of them get picked off. Instead, Chaos Knight goes down. Nagasari looking to escape. Can she get away? She's trying to escape, but you know, the Illuminate just getting her, and there's a Windrunner Shackle coming in about 3 seconds too late to save his teammate. And it looks like a disaster because they pick off yet another person picking up TP. This is 1 for 7. It's definitely going in favour of 420, playing like champions. I don't know what you do as AG.
Yep, absolutely. And also the scary thing is AG is the lineup that was built up for the mid game. If you look at them, if you look at their lineup, they are built up for the mid game much better than 420 are. Whereas 420 already have a lead. We may not even see a mid game. We may not even see a late game in this one.
Yeah, and we're seeing the sort of difficulties you can suffer when you're playing Naga Siren. You need that farm in order to be effective in terms of your right clicking. And also, that Siren is not one of the easiest sort of abilities to sort of, I guess you might say, combinate with other things. What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. It's the same with Chaos Knight. Like he doesn't do well without the farm. He needs to get the farm. He needs to get he and Naga Siren, both of them need to get 6 slotted quite early in the game. Mid lane.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, we see a lot of damage going down here in the middle lane. A tower being taken, or a tower being denied by the Darkseer, so I guess that is a slight one there for AG. Although a tower's a tower in concerns with 420. And we see a lot of damage. Oh, and a nice Illuminate. And this is forces the Nugget to pop his sorry. She loses it too early. An amazing RP, followed by a skewer. That is yet another nail in the coffin. This is going to translate into a snowball. It looks like AG are on the run.
Yep, it's looking incredibly scary for AG. And the thing is, they could easily try and siege the tier 2s now. But I think it would be I think it would be better if they try and get the other tier 1s first.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Apologies here. Wow, very timely Shadow Blade there by the Alchemist. You know, he was shackled. There was a power shot with with the Darkseer with Alchemist Shadow right close. But we see that there's not much going on there. The Alchemist is escaping, and you know, I'm getting some comments here from the guys to talk about warding. Warding being really in the favour of the Dire. Only one typical sort of Radiant ward in that mid position, which is going to give them good vision of their rune. And they can see this Magnus, which is great, but they don't have any control on the bottom. And I do think the Dire is in a better position with their warding, with the way they're currently playing so more aggressively than the Dire, than the Radiant.
Magnus looking for a backstab.
Top tower is under attacks.
And this, yeah, Magnus being looking to pick off somebody, but getting picked off very easy. His teammates were getting in position. We see P8 in the bottom lane here. We see the tree there with Nature's guys and the Alchemist in position. So they could have converted that into a number of kills, but just, I guess you might just say it was one of those calls that they made and it just didn't work out for them.
Like you said, they weren't in position. I think they were expecting an RP into a skewer, like him skewering the opposition back into the tree and the Alchemist. But he didn't really get his RP off. He just got shackled and snared to death.
Yeah, and I think he made the right decision not to use it. You know, sometimes you see it so often. People just blow their ults because they're about to die, and he's being very, very controlled in the sense that he knew it wasn't going to work. He was out of position, choosing not to use that ult or that skewer and keep those cooldowns for when he can buy back in, sort of TP back in. And taking a quick look now, well, there's no actual engagement. The graphs tell me that the gold difference for 420 is quite substantial at 7,500, and the XP sitting at just over 5,000. That to me means that the items should show me the similar picture, and we do see 420 with a partway Battle Fury on the VA and a partway mechanism on the Kotl, and we do see that pick up a Blink Dagger, that crucial Blink Dagger on the Magnus. So, you know, in comparisons to AG, who do have an almost complete, well, partially built mechanism on one of the here. Oh, and I hear Naga Siren being used.
Just blink. Magnus missed a skewer and a shockwave to try and kill off the Death Prophet, but he couldn't. He didn't use his Blink Dagger for that, though.
Killing spree. Double kill.
PA just got a solo double kill. Omega, you there?
I am there. Sorry, I'm a bit of issue. And we do see, oh wow, so many amazing plays, and I miscasted there. I actually hit mute by mistake. We see Naga Sirens going down, but there's going to be no follow through. This is going to be bad news unless something happens with the teammates. That was a wasted ult from Naga, and we saw an excellent RP that did pick up Chaos Knight. That's all he needed to pick up, but he couldn't convert that into a kill.
Yep, the RP actually got cast on both Windrunner and Chaos Knight, but he skewered only Chaos Knight back. Since nobody died there, if you look at it, I think that was a small win for AG, since Train Protector blew his ultimate and Magnus blew the RP, whereas they only blew Naga Siren's ultimate, as you said.
Tower is under attack.
But looking at the CS, we can definitely tell this is telling a story of how the carries on 420 are just doing so much better than the carries on AG. We have Alchemist sitting at 93 CS, which is going to be very, very high comparable because he has got Grievel's Creed. He is going into that Battle Fury now, and we've got PA who probably almost has completed her Battle Fury. So it's not looking good in terms of the late game for AG. And you're right, this you caught it earlier on. This is going to be a mid-game sort of a battle where it's all going to be PA, it's all going to be Alchemist, and there's going to be no answer coming out of AG unless they can coordinate that wall, unless they can coordinate that vacuum with a Siren in some kind of weird setup with DP ult. It's really going to come into team fights here for AG. If they can pull those off, then maybe they can claw it back. We see a smoke up. It looks like they're trying to pick off PA, but he's going to try and blink away. Yeah, and he gets. I think he may get away here, and he does. Great play here, I guess, by the PA. Just unlucky here for AG. Just not enough DPS coming out. And Magnus is invisible.
Magnus is waiting for an RP.
Yeah, and he RPs, and he's going to skew back in towards the tower. There's going to be a tree ult, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to sign basically the death warrants here on AG. If they can't escape from it, they do pick up Magnus as an exchange. As a consolation prize, they do pick up the Magnus, but it looks like they're going to potentially lose both Chaos Knight. No! Mechanism popped. Well, some kind of heal there. armlet toggling, very well done by KCs2. That is the trade of a Darkseer for a Magnus, so I guess that is in the favor of AG, and but they're still so far down in terms of kills.
The red mist spreads.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the important thing for them is that the Magnus and the Naga Siren are undying, since they're the only ones who are going to do any sort of physical damage, right clicks to the 420 lineup. But then again, as you said, the Alchemist is almost doubling up on. He is doubling up on Death Prophet's last hits, and combine that with a Grievel's Greed, and he's going to be a super farm super early, and I don't think they have what it takes to stop the Alchemist.
No, and he has got that Battle Fury, so is PA, so this is just super farm mode for 420. They're going to be feeling extremely comfortable in their position, given they've got this 4-12 lead in terms of kills, you know, and AG, I'm feeling, unfortunately, you know, they do pick up a PA right there as I say that, but they're going to be feeling not as comfortable in terms of where they are. They've got an armlet who on their CK, but not much farm on anyone else, and I think that's going to be a problem.
Yep, and one more thing, like we discussed a little earlier, that in the last two engagements, the ultis were blown and like not many people were killed. But the thing is, in those last two engagements, AG were almost 5-man, were all five of AG were in those engagements, whereas the Alchemist was just quietly farming the jungle.
Yeah, and he's still farming, and his CS is just escaping here in terms of he's out of control. There's no gank attempts on him at all whatsoever. In fact, they've got no vision on him the most of the game. This is going to translate, this is easily going to convert into kills, without a doubt, as well as late game. And we see another Naga Siren ult just being used to escape. She's using it this time to TP away. This PA, this Magnus, and this Alchemist, that's all they really need now to secure the victory, I think. I think this is definitely a win here for 420. It is early game, and I'm calling it early, but I think it's just because they seem to be playing so aggressively and so well.
Yep, when you pick two mid-game carries to try and outfarm two hard carries who transition very well into the late game, and you're losing by the 25th minute mark, it doesn't do good for you.
Wow, and we see yet another kill. I missed that slightly. Sorry guys, I was busy doing something. But excellent play work here from 420. I think they're going to take this tower and sort of maybe potentially take this tier 3 tower, because they're feeling so, well, not feeling, but they are so strong, so far ahead in terms of farm, so far ahead in terms of net worth. And what do the levels look like? Just quickly while I try and work that out. I should memorize these. I'm so bad at memorizing these. Yeah, in level wise they're not too far here, but they're just enough that's going to make a difference. And AG really need to lift their game. Really need to use this CK in combination with Darkseer more. I think you know, if they get the Iron Shower and the Surge down on this CK, they can potentially pick off some extra kills where they haven't been doing so. But just you can look at it, like you can just tell from the map presence that 420 just playing so superiorly, having so much domination in this mid game phase.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you look just at the drafts, you'd expect AG to be doing much better than 420 in the mid game, but they aren't. 420 had a late game lineup that is flourishing in the mid game. I think that just summarizes his entire game up.
Yeah, and
when a late game lineup does that good in the mid game, you shouldn't have much hope.
Yeah, I'm totally agreeing with you. I'm feeling really bad here for AG. I was hoping they would be able to sort of put up a really good fight, but yeah, you're right. They are smoked up though. They are looking to sort of maybe contest this rush if they realize it's going on, and they do have the potential chance here. We do see this nice little guard here in terms of the trend, looking to protect it, and they don't know there's rush there. They're looking to pick up this easy coddle, and they're probably going to get him. Yeah, this fall there, Coddle has no escapes. Casually right-clicking down the Coddle. But, you know, I just want to talk about this Alchemist. This Alchemist now, unbelievably farmed with a Battle Fury, with a Hyperstone into an AC. We see a Naga Siren being used to try and initiate. Well, this is going to be a counter-initiation. I can sense it right now. We're going to see an RP. We're going to see an RP. We do, and it catches a couple of guys. There's a follow through with the unstable concoction. It doesn't go on the right guy they think it is, but it doesn't really matter because they're dropping guys like flies. It's a complete whitewash for AG. No consolation prize, no second place. They are getting ruffle stomped a little bit, and I don't see. Oh wow, we do see a bit of a trade-off, but no. Like I said, it's all gone in the favor of 420 in the last 2-3 engagements.
Yep, they lost the Train Protector and the Keeper of the Light, who are effectively supports, and they not only killed off Roshan, but they also killed off Chaos Knight, Darkseer, and Windrunner. That was a huge win for 420, and even Alchemist was present in that team fight.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah, I just want to take a quick look at these supports because I have been neglecting them. So we do see a bit of travel and a mechanism on the Keeper of Light. In terms of what's the Magnus support? Yeah, the Magnus just got a blink light. He's gone into Oblivion Stars. He's going to be going for probably the early refresher if he can. If he can get that, it's going to be. Whoa, we see a nice number of abilities being thrown here. We see Naga committing to a battle, but I think that's going to backfire, and it does. There's a skewer. Follow through with nice vacuum there, but it's not enough. We do see two guys getting knocked down, potentially Windrunner as well. She does do a very nice shackle to save herself. But yeah, back to the.
How did that latch?
You know, if you have a lot of friends, they'll always call BS on when they play Windrunner. It doesn't seem to shackle. You don't get the long shackles. You don't get the dual shackles. But when you play your opponents, for whatever reason, they get those amazing shackles, and it's just one of those things that occurs. In any case, looking at the supports, yeah, and we see a nice pickup here of an urn on the tree, which I haven't seen in many games. Oh, yeah, he is going to a refresher for this Magnus. That's going to be deadly if he can get that off. In terms of AG supports, though, Windrunner just sitting on phase boots and not even looking to build towards a mechanism yet. That's not going to translate to good news. We do, though, in saying that, I didn't look at the Darkseer. He has picked up that mechanism, so they have some durability for those team fights. But they're definitely looking substantially less farmed at this stage in the game.
One side note, just before the engagement at the tier 2 bot, Chaos Knight picked up his Power Treads the exact same time as Alchemist picked up his Maelstrom. That's how far ahead the Alchemist is.
Yeah, and that's the problem with Alchemist. If you're leaving the free farm, as AG have done, you don't sort of contest any of his time. He is going to pick up those early items, and he's on you now, and this is not looking good. If this, basically, if the next team fight that 420 engage in, if they win that, that's definitely going to be a Rex. And taking a quick look at the graphs now, we're beyond that point now. We're at that point where I call about the 20,000 XP sort of XP or gold graph. Now that is officially a moment of where you think, how are you going to come back from 20,000? That's like wiping the enemy team 4 or 5 times in a row in order just to get ahead. And I don't see AG doing it just at this stage.
Trent is invisible, 4-man ulti, 5-man ulti.
Wow, and they're just really throwing down those ultis. They want to secure those kills. 4 or 5 guys just dropping like that. There's a charge here for the There's no one to throw it on because this team is so proficient in knocking everybody out. Power shot there from the Windrunner. Windrunner being the only person left up, still sticking around, and there's a blink there from the Magnus. They're looking to pick off this Windrunner. There's a stun and a shockwave. That is a dead guy, but they're going to lose their PA potentially if you're not careful. PA being ballsy, and he is looking to die. He doesn't care. He has Aegis. Yeah, they're just trolling now, and this is clearly a game which is 100% in 420's favor. I really think AG is considering their options to GG right now.
Something to chop. Would never whine. Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
Yeah, absolutely. In the last team fight, Train Protector and Magnus got a 4-man, 5-man ulti off, and that just hurt AG so much since they're already so far behind.
Yeah, we see an excellent use of the Nagasaren into a wall vacuum, which I was expecting to see early on in the game, and they do pick off somebody, but I think that's just a little too late. It's come at a stage in the game where the 420 is just so much more farmed. They're not really caring with this wall, they're just really walking into it, especially this Alchemist. Or double kill godlike on the PA. The PA now out of control, having picked up both Desolator and backing Bastard saying last checked it. This is definitely GG now. I don't see AG. And, yeah, there's no coming back from this.
Excellent ultra kill. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
He just fountain dove their entire team. That's how far behind they are.
Yeah, and I think here AG now calling the GG, as I said earlier on. Well done to 420, playing like champions, drafting. I don't know if they drafted far more superior than AG, but they did draft very, very well. But winning those laning phases, and it just shows you how important it is to match up that laning phase with your heroes. AG making the crucial mistake of not shutting down that alchemist, or not really sort of building towards shutting down that alchemist. And I think this is the result. 420 now having a shot to being second place in this pool. I think definitely GD at this stage taking it out if they win the next game, which is coming up shortly, will take out the pool A lead. But I think for AG now that is an elimination. They don't really have much chance to come back, and they have one more game. But I think now that's it for them. I want to thank Anonymous for being my co-caster, and we'll see you guys who are watching on the channel. Thank you for your support. If you like this, click follow. Your support is much appreciated, and we'll see you in the next round 5 of the Kiwi Challenge Classic Series 2. Kiwi Challenge Series 2. If you want to give them some support, you know, I know there's some people going to be saying, why are you doing this? But if you want to give them some support, do so. Go along to www.facebook.com/Dota2 New Zealand. Click like. The more likes they have, the more potential to pull support sponsors they have. They also have their own caster who's currently casting in-game, and I urge you to add D2GNZ to your Steam friends list and listen to him in-game, and just watch my cast if you don't think that that's your cup of tea, or if you're missing the game in terms of you can't make those times and you're watching it later on a stream. That's what I'm here for.
The victory honors to the Dire.